Okay, so I think the rehabilitation of roads is supposed to, the figure from the question is 2,500,000, but I I put 70,000 in there. Okay, so that's an error we have to correct. So it means it's going to affect the surplus. Okay, so let's get the surplus readjusted. So Amma, I think I'm on you again to do this since Ella, I think because I allocated the the funds in an uneven portion. Ella got 30%, so she uh,
Oh, sir, sorry, I'm here.
mhm. Okay, so please let's find the deficit, sorry, the surplus, and then we'll move on to the other requirements of the question. The total is accurate, but let's get the debit side again since we took the wrong figure for the rehabilitation of roads. Yeah, Amma, please go ahead.
So for the debit side, it will be 6,654,400. Hey, 6 million, sorry.
Okay, so deduct from the total 15 and let's see what we get.
Okay. 8,507,000.
8,507,000. Okay, so I think that is the accurate figure. Thank you very much, Prof. Amma, for that. So that is the bit about the revenue and expenditure of the government. Very, very simple, right? Very simple. Let's go to the next requirement, which is asking us to prepare the statement of recurrent expenditure. Okay, statement of recurrent expenditure. I told you that you have to apply knowledge from the capital expenditure, revenue expenditure, capital receipt, revenue receipt you discussed at I think during the discussion on depreciation. So statement of recurrent expenditure. That's the B part. Okay. So it's very simple. It's a simple statement. You don't. It's not an account. It's just you listing the recurrent expenditure and then you sum them up. That's all. Okay. So you have your title, statement of recurrent expenditure. Let's indicate the currency. The currency. Currency is I think euros. Euros. Let me use E for my euros. Okay. Great. So we go through the trial balance and pick the recurrent expenditure. And I gave you a clue. Your recurrent expenditure number one occurs more often. So the frequency with which they occur is very high compared to the capital expenditure. Okay. And the benefit accruing from such expenditure normally doesn't last beyond one financial or accounting period. Yes, Professor.
Staff salaries.
Okay. So Ella doesn't want me to waste time at all. So let's pick it. So let's go accordingly so that we don't miss anything. This general revenue balance, we don't need it. It is a revenue in the first place, so it doesn't fall for an expenditure. The next one, maintenance of vehicle, professors. Is it a recurrent expenditure? Maintenance of vehicle.
Yes.
Okay, Ella says yes. Mami, Prof. Ya, do you agree?
Yes, please.
Great. So any expense you see regarding maintenance and repairs is a recurrent expenditure. Okay. As a matter of fact, let me state that, you see, if I take you back to the sole proprietor, the recurrent expenditure are the expenses that we take to the profit and loss account. So all the repairs, advertising, stationery, telephone bills, all those things there are recurrent expenditure. The capital expenditure are those that we classify as assets or fixed assets, and we carry them to the balance sheet. So that's an extra information for you. Okay, the next one is stationery. Let me write the maintenance. So stationery, cost of stationery is also a recurrent because day in, day out, you have to buy, these stationery. Sinking of boreholes, professors, what is this? Is it a recurrent or a capital expenditure?
It is.
Ella, you said it is, but you didn't tell what it is.
A recurrent.
Okay, Ella says recurrent. Do we all agree? If you disagree, let me know.
With someone. Please, what's the meaning of thinking of boreholes?
Oh, like some communities don't have water, so the government will go there and sink a borehole for them, as in make a borehole, if I should say, because it's digging into the ground. That's
Hey,
what
wait. It is a
Then
capital.
it's not recurrent.
So it is a capital what expenditure because you cannot be sinking
Yes.
boreholes every month or every year. It's once when you do it. Let's say for Cape Coast community, if you sink a borehole here, it is going to last for a longer period. You don't have to be sinking boreholes every year there and now. So that is a capital expenditure. Great. Next is staff salaries. Staff salaries, okay, every month you pay us. So that's very recurrent. Next is the statutory allocation. It's not an expenditure, it's a revenue, so it doesn't come here. The next is refuse disposal expense. Okay, every day we have to dispose these things of our environment. Interest on fixed deposit, that is an income or revenue, so it will not be part of the expenses at all. The next one, rehabilitation of roads. Professors, what is that? Rehabilitation of roads. Is it capital expenditure or revenue expenditure? Yes, who will pick this for me? Yeah, if you
Please, capital.
Capital. Okay. So let me say that, Amma,
Please, I think it's revenue.
you think it's revenue. Okay. Now we have two school of thought. Ella.
Capital.
Okay. Well, you have stated it. I think I'll get explanations from you as well. Why is it capital? Or why is it revenue? So defend your points. So Ella and Ifya subscribes to it being a capital expenditure. And then okay, so Ella, explain. Because
it is intended to provide like a long-term benefit. Yeah.
okay.
And to improve the quality of the road system.
Okay. Then the revenue expenditure, please, can we hear you? Was that Amma? Yes, I guess Amma.
Yes, please.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Why?
so I also think that the road is already constructed, but then since it's rehabilitation,
Mhm.
if you repair it,
Yeah.
it will come again. It will need maintenance or repair. So
Okay.
that's
I-
why.
Great. I think I'll pick on Prof. Ya and Prof. Chan on this one. I want to hear their views. Prof. Ya. Mm-hmm. Oh, Prof. Ya, this one there. I have to hear you. Okay, let me hear from um, Prof. Chan.
Please, I think it's
You think it's capital? Why?
because it will last for longer period.
Okay. Okay, I love the dissenting views. Now, so let me. So, capital expenditure, okay, refers to assets where funds used to acquire, upgrade, or extend the life of assets, okay, such as building equipment or infrastructure, etc. Now, when you hear rehabilitation, rehabilitation is a massive kind of repair, okay. It cannot be equated to the normal repairs of the road, maybe pothole be, and then we go and fill it. Rehabilitation actually means that the road is in a deplorable state that we have to, in fact, as a matter of fact, it's more or less like we have to do it again. But maybe some parts are okay, so we don't do a total overhaul. So rehabilitation is a capital expenditure. And as they rightly put it, the benefit resulting from the rehabilitation is going to last for a longer period. And if you do rehabilitation this year, all other things being equal, the next rehabilitation will be in excess of about 10, 15, 20 years. Okay. It just so happened that in our country, Ghana, we rehabilitate a road and it doesn't even take 3 months. Okay. But rehabilitation is a massive kind of work that is done on an asset. Okay. So it is a capital expenditure. So rehabilitation and anything associated with renovations. Okay. You see, renovating a building means that you are actually doing a lot to the building. And if that thing is going to enhance the performance of the assets, then it is a capital expenditure. So, Prof. Aman, I think this one we have to convince you on that. Okay. Because the aim of rehabilitation is to extend the lifespan of the asset. And so if you do rehabilitation, I don't think it will be a norm for the government to, as it were, within 1 year, be a rehabilitation of us. No, that would not make sense. Okay, rehabilitation is done, not more often like that. Okay, so it's a capital expenditure. Fines, rates, these are revenues or income, so they are not coming here. Renewal of license is also an income, it's not coming here. Renovation of schools, that's another capital expenditure. So the last revenue expenditure will be the salary of traditional chiefs. Okay. Ama, if you still have a confusion, if you still want to argue the point, feel free. Let's delve into such arguments. It's very, very healthy for our understanding and discussion of items. Yeah, Professor.
Okay, so it's not about maintenance of road or repair of bridges or buildings.
Okay, so like I told you, repairs and maintenance, in fact, they are daily things we have to do. If you are maintaining a building, what are you actually doing? Is either you check, oh, is the roof leaking? If it's leaking, you fix it. Or are the walls, dirty? Okay, maybe a portion is dirty, you paint it or you clean it. The louvers are dirty. So maintenance is a routine, something you have to do. You don't have to wait 5 years, 10 years before you maintain a building. It's unfortunate our part of the world that maintenance culture is not there. But those of you who have been watching football, if you pay attention, you would see that immediately the players or immediately the match is over, you see the maintenance workers checking. Oh, there was some part of the grass removed. They fix it. They check the post, the net. All these are maintenance culture that they go through. So repairs and maintenance. Let me ask you, for instance, you fix a door, right, with the lock. The lock can spoil within 2-3 days, depending on how frequent you are using it. If it happens, you have to repair it. Okay. So repairs are also routine. It doesn't take 10 years, 5 years, 2 years before you do repairs. Then unless you are not using the asset. So maintenance and repairs culture fall in the category of what? Revenue or recurrent expenditure. Rehabilitation and renovation, let me say, are the the mother or the grandparent of repairs and maintenance, if I should say. If you are rehabilitating a building, the quantum of work you do is more or less like you are building the thing all over again. But if you are maintaining a building or you are repairing it, you don't do any massive work. Okay. So that's the bit I can say to convince you, Prof. Ella. If there's still confusion, let's sort it out. Okay, but that is for the revenue expenditure. So you just get the total and put the total in there, and that is it for some 5-6 marks or something like that. So please, Amma, please do the calculation for me. Let's put in the figures.
Is 1,874,400.
Okay. Then let's do that of the capital expenditure. And I think we have seen that through the discussion.
Mr. Amma,
Yes, dear.
Mr. Amma, please,
Yes.
I did that one for the capital expenditure.
You did for the capital. Okay. I think that I shouldn't stress myself with that. If you are able to get the items and you don't add the total, no problem. The examiner will mark it for you. So let me pick the capital expenditure. So the capital expenditure, we have the sinking of boreholes. That's the first one. Okay, that is 130,000. Then we have the next staff salaries. No. The next is the rehabilitation of roads, and then the renovation of schools. So they are not plenty, just 3. Rehabilitation roads. That's 2,500,000. And then renovation schools. I think that I can even use what happens in your schools as example to make you appreciate. You see, when your Absonians or your old students come to take a project, Most of the things they do are renovations and rehabilitations, not maintenance. True or false?
True.
Yeah. So you hear them say, oh, we are coming to renovate the lab. And the quantum of work they do there, they virtually remove everything, fix new fittings, you know. So rehabilitation and renovation constitute capital expenditure. Note that. Okay. Now, let me define this. I know you have done it, that's why I'm not spending my time on it. A capital expenditure actually, okay, refers to the cost of asset and any other cost incurred, okay, directly with getting the asset ready for use, number one, enhancing its performance or extending its lifespan. Okay. That is a capital expenditure. So if you buy an asset, let's say you buy a car, before you can use the car, you need to go and register it with the DVLA. That registration fees should form part of the cost of the asset, and for that matter, will be part of the capital expenditure. Okay, so things like licensing, installation cost, testing cost, these are costs you incur to get the asset ready for use, and they form part of the cost of the asset, which is a capital expenditure. Okay, and if you reckon, when you test the car for the first time, you don't do testing again. You have already tested the car, so it also doesn't occur more often. If you register the car at DVLA, every year you don't have to go and register the car again. It is once and for all. Okay. But the recurrent expenditure, they occur more often, number one. Okay, and then they result from the daily routines of the business. Okay, so that's the bit I can say. So, my dear professors, you get your totals put in there and you are good to go. So when you are asked to prepare statement of expenditure, please, that's all that you have to do. Let's refer to the solution to get the totals in there. So for the recurrent expenditure, you get 1,869,000, and for the capital expenditure, okay, I don't have that here, but I think you should get in excess of 5 million, or maybe, yeah, great. So that's a bit about capital and revenue expenditure under public sector. Please, any question? And we check the illustration 3. Okay, no question. Now, I purposely put this illustration there, not because it has ever been examined in WASSCE. This was examined during the SSCE time, but I was just thinking aloud and said sometimes you go to SSCE, modify the question and bring it. And with this one, you don't need any serious, even with your mathematics, your core mathematics idea, you should be able to do it. So let's read it. It says the central government, okay, approved for the year 31st December 2000, an amount of 10 million to 4 local authorities. So the central government has approved that they should allocate this amount to 4. The distribution was done as follows. So they are going to share 80% of the money on population basis and 20% on equal basis. So they have given the population of the 4 local authorities as follows. So A has 200 people, B 400, C 300, and then D 100. Now, local authority B generated the following additional revenue. So fines, licenses, park operations, rates, and it also made the following payment or expenses. So salary, wages, blah, blah, blah. What are you required to do? You are required to prepare statement of allocation made to each local authority. Dear professors, this one you can apply your mathematics ideas. So you are expected to prepare a statement of allocation made to each local authority. So you go back to the allocation. How much was being shared? 10 million. How were they going to share it? They said they are going to share 80% on population basis. So what it means is that you find 80% of the 10 million and you share it to them using their population basis as a ratio, right? And then the 20% of the amount, which will be the remaining after you have taken the 80%, should be on equal basis. So equal, everybody, every local authority should get the same. So you just divide by the number, which is 4, whatever you get to add on. So let's go and see how we do it. So if we are sharing 80% of the money, it means we are sharing 8 million on population basis, right? So that 8 million, we look at the population of the authority, okay, divide by the total population, and then get the share of that particular authority. So that's it. That's what you have here. So authority A had population of 200,000. We divide by the total population as like the way you use total ratio and to find the share of a whole, or if A and B are sharing something, the ratio 3:5. The same procedure here. Okay, then on the equal basis, that 20%, okay, we get 2 million, we share it for them. So each of them will get 50,000, 50,000, 50,000, right? So at the end of the day, the total amount allocated to each local authority will be what they got from their population basis plus what they got equally, and you get a total. So I don't expect my professors to be confused here because they are sharp with these calculations, ratios, and sharing, right? Okay. But the B says that we should prepare something for a particular local government, and that is receipt and payment account of local authority B. And this was the authority were given some revenues they made or income they made, like fines, okay, and expenses they made. So we just prepare the account for them. They received some money, they paid some money. We have to prepare the receipt and payment. So the first receipt will be how much they received from the local government, right? How much they received from the local government. So from the central government, I should say. So that's a statutory allocation. That will form part of. Actually, I think I have turned this receipt and payment, but it is showing income and expenditure. So these are the receipts, and they should be at the debit side. Let me correct that. Okay. And then these expenses are all payments should be on the right side of the receipt and payment. I think it's an error we have to correct. Because the receipt and payment is like the cash book, right? So when you receive, you debit, when you pay, credit. So let's do the correction here. Okay. So they received first of all how much was due them from the statutory allocation. Okay, 3,700,000. And they also received some fines. They received some licenses and then some park operations fees. And then they also got some rates or some tax. I'm sure some property rates. Okay. So let me put in the figures. For fines, 25,000. Then for licenses, 15,000. Parks, 10,000. And the rates, 17,500. Good. So these were the receipts they had. And then the payment of expenses, we have salaries and wages, 25,000. We have electricity, 20,000, and Servicing of debt. Servicing of debt means they are settling their debt, right? Okay, so you now balance it and see your carry down brought down, because you know the receipt and payment account is like the cash book. So it's balanced with the carry down brought down, and that's all. Okay. So the third illustration, I don't think should be a problem to my dear professors. Any questions so far? Okay, if there are no questions, let me quickly go through the fourth one. I'm sure you would appreciate this based on what we've done so far. So the following was extracted from the books of local government, Lagos local government. Okay, we have extension of classroom blocks, construction of bridges, entertainment, sinking of boreholes, maintenance, administrative expense, renovation, purchase of drugs, provision of street lights, salaries of chief, disposal of refuse, postage. And you are supposed to prepare statement of capital expenditure, statement of revenues. So my dear professors, let's do this quickly. If I pick the expense, you tell me whether it is capital or revenue. So the first one, extension of classroom blocks. If yeah, is that a capital or revenue?
Capital, please.
Thank you. No two ways about that. Construction of bridges, Prof. Amma.
Use capital.
Thank you, perfecto. Entertainment, Prof. Ella. Prof. Ella, unmute and tell us entertainment. Is it capital or revenue? Okay, let me shift to Prof. Jacinth. Okay. No, Ella, come again. What did you say?
So I really hear
No, you have to take it again. We didn't hear you. Entertainment, is that capital expenditure or recurrent expense?
recurrent.
Exactly, recurrent. Entertainment is something you do more often, right? Sinking of boreholes. I think we've seen that one earlier, but okay, Prof. Jacinda, sinking of boreholes is what?
Please, capital expenditure.
Great. Take the next one, maintenance of motor vehicle.
Like as an assurance side.
Yes. Is it capital or revenue?
Maintenance revenue.
Thank you. So all maintenance are revenue or recurrent expenditure. Great. Prof. HR, administrative expense.
Recurrent.
Thank you. Perfecto. Renovation of this one, I'll say it myself. That is capital expenditure, renovation. Then the next one, purchase of drugs. Purchase of drugs, recurrent or capital? Because of the time, I think I'll call somebody else. I'll call somebody. See, Nanako, Tata, Bonkiti. Prof. HR, I'm coming back to you again. Purchase of drugs.
Recurrent.
Exactly. I love that. Because you have to buy drugs. The government, with this National Health Insurance Scheme, they always have to buy drugs for the hospitals. Okay, so it's a recurrent. It occurs more often. Provision of street lights. This one, I know somebody is confused, but I can't pinpoint that somebody. Provision of street lights. Jacinda.
Okay. I'm not sure, but I believe it's capital.
You are not sure, but you believe it's capital. Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Your belief is a correct belief. So street light, provision of street light is a capital expenditure, okay? And because street lights, accrue benefit to the society for more than, they last longer, right? Salary of chiefs, that is recurrent. Disposal of refuse, recurrent. Postage and stationery, recurrent. Personnels are just people who are working for the government, so it's more or less like salary or wages. So personnel cost is also recurrent. Okay, so my dear professors, I think so this is what I'm going to do. I will try as much as possible to share with you all the questions that have come in the past question for WASI so that you can appreciate. I think I have the hard copy, so I'll take snapshots and put it in a PDF form for your per user. Okay. So we have the last session, right? But I think I'm going to convert that last session to assignment or exercise. Yes, you use that 45 minutes to do an exercise for me. Okay, so please, when the session ends, watch out on the page. I'll be bringing the question. Okay. So any question before we wrap up on this? No question? Okay, then thank you very much, Professor. So please, when I put in the exercise, try and finish it within the remaining time and submit for me. Okay, I appreciate you so much. Take very good care of yourselves. I will see you when I see you. Okay. If you are this one that you did, what?
Yes.